Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting edition of my Grue Rume Show. For the Grue Rume Show today, I got a former pro boxer, and he's a trainer now, and his name is the Iceman John Scully. And I'm really looking forward to talking to him about his boxing life, about training, and he's a Golden Glove winner. So we're going to talk about that too. I am Rocco Cross. I am the host at Stutters. I am the host of the Grue Room, and my interview with the Iceman will be coming up very soon. This is my Grue Room, and as always, welcome to my nightmare. Stay tuned. Okay, buddy. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night and coming on my show. I appreciate that.
No problem at all.
Sweet. So, like, the first thing I wanted to ask you is like, what made you fall in love with like the great sport of boxing?
When I was a kid, my father was a boxing fan, and he had all kinds of books and magazines and everything about the sport. And he always watched the fights. I can remember as a kid watching Muhammad Ali fight
Yeah.
when I was, 7 years old, I guess 8 years old. And so I've always been exposed to the sport. And luckily, I came up in an era when like the Olympics, 1976 Olympics happened, which was big for boxing. Muhammad Ali was fighting Joe Frazier, George Foreman,
Mhm.
Leon Spinks during those years. And the Rocky movies came out, the
Yeah.
first Rocky. So boxing was such a big sport back then, way bigger, than it is now. It was different. It was definitely different back then.
Oh yeah, like now you got so much others like the mixed martial arts, the UFC, the
Yeah,
MMA, and then
yeah,
it like mixes the boxing and martial arts and wrestling, and but I still love watching it though,
yeah.
boxing, and I grew up with the guys that you were saying like Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Tyson, Holyfield, like I grew up with all of them.
Right, for sure, for sure.
So, like, who are some of the boxers that you love watching, like that inspired you?
I would say Muhammad Ali was the main one.
Okay.
He was larger than life when I was a kid, and so yeah, I would say realistically, if it wasn't for him being alive, I probably wouldn't even have been into boxing.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I would say his existence made it possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like one of the fights you fought for the belt, and you went the whole 12 rounds, like you took the champ to his limit,
Right.
and like how was that experience like for you, like fighting for the belt and taking the champ to the limit?
I mean, it was pretty exciting. It was kind of surreal, like because when I was a kid, I watched so many fights. I was,
Hmm.
10, 11, 12, 15 years old. So I'm watching all these guys fight for the title. And then to be one of them, to grow up and me fighting for the title, it was almost like it wasn't real. It was almost like being in a movie or something. And I was playing a role,
Yeah,
it was definitely surreal.
oh nice.
Yeah.
And out of all the fights you've had, are there any fights that stand out the most to you?
Um, be honest with you, amazingly, probably a fight that I lost
Oh
was
wow.
with Michael Nunn. And me and Michael Nunn had a 12-round fight, title fight. And, I put on a very good performance. It was one of my better performances as a pro. And considering his level, he's an
Yeah.
elite world champion. More people now to this day, if a boxing fan approaches me somewhere, more than likely, they're going to mention that fight. That's the one they probably mention the most. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
definitely. Yeah,
Oh
for sure.
wow.
Yeah.
And, and what do you think your toughest fight was? Was it the same one with Michael?
No, I think as far as like actual toughness, I mean, different fights were tough for different reasons. Like one thing I always, it's no secret. Like I always had a lot of difficulty making weight for fights, and I didn't really know how to do it. Yeah, most fighters don't have any idea. We just run and we wear rubber suits and we don't
Yeah.
eat, just stupid stuff. So feeling tired and worried about my weight, made certain fights really, really difficult because,
Oh,
you want to let your hands go, you want to be loose, you want to carry out a game plan, but by the same token, you want to try and conserve energy because you're not sure if you're going to be able to have energy later in the
mhm.
fight. And, it alters your game plan. So I had so many fights where it was tough. Just the game of boxing was tough. Living that life was tough.
Oh
And
yeah.
trying to navigate my way through the fight was really hard for a lot of fights.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean when like fans watch it, like they see like these two guys fighting, but no one really knows like what went into it, like
Oh, it's
like
yeah, yeah.
cutting
It's
cutting weight
unbelievable
and the
what goes into
training
it.
and
Yeah, for
oh
sure.
yeah,
And
definitely,
the
definitely.
psychological aspects of it are,
Hmm.
are amazing. You never know what a guy is going through. You never know what it takes for some people to actually go 12 rounds and to do what they
Yeah,
do and to go through what they go through. Fighters generally make it look easy, even when it's a tough fight. They
yeah,
make it look easy. Like they act like they come across like it's just what they do. And that's what I say. Like the average person, untrained person, could not do it because just
oh yeah.
psychologically, emotionally, mentally, it's a really heavy load for sure.
And then to actually go in the ring and fight like it from what I heard, because I never boxed or anything, but like from what I heard, like your hands and your arms get tired fast because you got the gloves on, and
Right,
just
right.
like swinging for like round after round, like it definitely makes your arms feel like lead,
Right.
right?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely it's an experience that's unlike anything I've ever experienced in terms of physical, just the taxing of your
Mhm.
body. It's really, really extreme for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was it like winning? Like I see for four straight years, you won the gold, Golden Gloves.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. Um, winning the Golden Gloves was like one of my major goals, probably of my life, because when I started boxing, all the Golden Glove champions where I live, they get a blue jacket with gold letters on it. So when you
Okay.
saw that jacket, you knew that guy was a Golden Gloves champion, and it was
Yeah.
such a nice jacket. I still have it. I have all my championship jackets. I have all of them.
Wow.
I never part with them, and it's just amazing because it was such a surreal thing to win it. Because I used to see kid when I was underage, when I was young, too
Hmm.
young to box in the Golden Gloves. I would see the Golden Gloves champions, and I would see them with their jackets, and just to want to win one, and then to
Yeah.
actually win it was just it was a special time in my life for sure.
Nice, nice. And like, why do you love being in this world so much as both a fighter and trainer now? Why do you love the boxing world to this day?
I mean, it's just part of my life. It's just like is my life in many ways. Like everybody I know is involved with boxing. Like if you go
Hmm.
through my phone, I have hundreds of numbers in my phone. Almost everybody in there is involved with boxing somehow.
Okay.
Everything I do, everybody I talk to has something to do with boxing. And
Oh,
it's just and it's kind of a thing where when I was a kid, I kind of like forecast this. I knew this from my first day in the gym. I knew at this age this is where I was going to be, what I was
mhm.
going to be involved with, and I knew that right from the very beginning. I was, I don't know if you call it luck, but I guess I was kind of lucky because I fell into a career very, very early in my life. I knew right away at 14 when I first went to the gym. I
Oh
knew
wow.
what I wanted to do. Yeah, for sure.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
When when you were fighting, like, was there any point of your life when you were boxing? Did you ever want to not do it or turn
Yeah,
back? Or,
three times.
oh
There
wow.
was three times. It was 1990, 1993, and 1998. I reached the points where, and all of it, each time, it had to do with losing weight, making weight for
Oh.
fights, and just the taxing on my body and my brain was so much. I just feel like I was suffocating.
Mm.
And actually, after I lost a fight on ESPN, I had lost so much weight, and it just really hurt me, and I was so sick of it. And in the ring, I actually, I think it was Al Bernstein interviewed me in the ring, and I said something like, I'm sick of boxing. I'm sick of feeling like this. I quit. And they go,
Oh
"Oh, are you
wow.
saying you retire?" And I said, "No, I'm saying I quit. I hate boxing." And that's how, I just hated it. And that was just my feelings at the time, because
Yeah.
it's like, if I lose a fight, there's a guy better than you, he beats you, that's
Yeah.
fine. But when you lose and it's just constantly, there's outside forces, say, holding you back, it's a
Hmm.
frustrating thing. Some people may say I brought it on myself, like I didn't lose weight properly. I don't know. But the end result was I was super, super frustrated. And yeah, I wanted to walk away from boxing after three times: 1990, 1990, 1993, 1998, for sure.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
And like when did you come up with your name, the ice man?
Basically, when I was a kid, it was a thing where it really had nothing to do with boxing. It
Oh,
was a thing
okay.
where we were kids, we would make fun of each other's head. Like, you would say, you got a big egg head, you got a rock head, you got this, and that was the thing. We go back and forth, and they would say that my head was square, and they say it was like a block. And so they would go to my fights, my friends, and they would yell, "Come on, blockhead." And then they would say, "Ice block," like the head's like a block of ice. And it
Oh.
came from that. That's where it came from. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you also wrote a book too. Can you tell me about the book? Like what inspired you to write it?
I haven't finished it yet, but I'm working. I'm almost. Hopefully, it's called the Iceman Diaries, and basically, it's I've kept diaries my whole life about
Hmm.
boxing, about baseball, all my stuff. So, hey, like, if you ask me, what did you do on July 7, 1996? I could tell you. I could look at my book and I'll tell you. I went to the movies, I ate pasta, and I was with my friend Joe. I could tell you what I did that day. So, my book is basically based on entries in the diary, and I tell my whole career and people I've met, places I've been, people I've seen and
Hmm.
interacted with, and famous people, actors, singers, rappers. So it's basically based on my writings.
Wow, all right. I'm looking forward to reading the book when it's out. Like that sounds really awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And like I know when you were fighting, like training was really hard. Like you were saying, cutting weight, you were probably on a special diet, working out. Like, what does your working out phase like now? Like do you still do it hard, or did you
Um,
eat up a little bit?
I don't train like I did. I don't train anything like I did, but I'm still in the gym. I'm very active
Mhm.
with the fighters. Sometimes I spar with them. I still spar with the guys, but I'm always holding the pads. I'm actually going to train someone in a few minutes. That we're
Oh,
gonna,
nice.
yeah. So I'm always busy with that, and so I think it keeps me young. I think my mentality keeps me young. I have the mentality, like, in my mind, I'm still 25 years old. I still think that way. I act that way. I talk that way. I walk that way. So uh, You could tell with sometimes when you see an older guy and he seems like a younger guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think I'm that guy. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
So
definitely. Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
And like you train and help like the boxers now in the need like how does that make you feel to go from fighter to trainer now and training all these new young guys that want to get in it?
Right. Well, it's a funny thing, but I my transition to trainer was easy. And I tell you,
Oh,
because I was boxing, I was training kids. I was training amateurs. So in between my fights, I would train them for their fights. And I was
oh
traveling,
wow.
all over the country while I was an active fighter. I was going to tournaments and all over the place. So me transitioning to being a full time trainer was not really a big deal. It was very natural to just go that way. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And what do you like doing during your free time when you're not boxing or training?
Um, you know, I'm usually doing something boxing related, or I a lot of time with my wife, and we watch movies. We're big movie people, I guess. And but I'm always boxing related because I'm training pros and I train
Mhm.
amateurs, and I've always got something going related to boxing. I do fundraisers. I raise money for fighters that are injured, and I get money for them, things like that. So I'm always every day of my life is encompassed with boxing. It's connected to boxing somehow.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And what about songs? Like what kind of songs do you like listening to? Like what's on your playlist?
To be honest, I don't I don't listen to the radio, and I don't really have I don't have like on my phone people have songs and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. Like I don't know Spotify or whatever it is, wherever you get music from. I forget what it's called. I don't have any music on my phone. Um,
Wow.
like I like older music. I like Elvis Presley and Marvin
Yeah.
Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass, people like that, Jackie Wilson, but everything, the Bee Gees. I mean, I go in all directions. I don't know much about the new music.
Yeah.
I don't really know. So yeah, I'm not a big music. I'm not a big new music guy. I like old,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
Like when you were fighting or like training, like is there any music you like listening to get your like blood going and pumped up?
I would listen to music like typical like I Had a Tiger, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
that's a really good song for that. A lot of high paced music, fast paced music, high energy. But it wouldn't have to be necessarily like hard songs. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys like hard rock or hard,
Mhm.
gangster rap. But I mean, even me, it was like there's a song by a guy named Jackie Wilson back in the 1950s. He had a song called "Baby Work Out," and
Okay.
he like the black Elvis Presley. Like he was Elvis Presley actually modeled some of his moves and dress after Jackie Wilson. And he had a song called "Baby Work Out." It's a really high energy workout song. For any era. This is back in the 50s when he made the song, or maybe early 60s. But even today, like you couldn't listen to it and not feel like or doing jumping jacks or something. So I like the older music, I think, more than the newer music.
Oh, sweet, sweet. And like, is there any cheat food that you like to eat? Like, I mean, I know you probably eat well and everything, like, but
Yeah.
when you want to cheat, like, what kind of food do you like to eat?
Well, I really like ice cream. I like
Yes, definitely.
And it's crazy because I always say like, and it's funny because every time I eat ice cream, I say to somebody, whoever's in the room with me, I go, imagine if they told you tomorrow that they made a new kind of ice cream and it's as good for you as broccoli and you could just eat it all day. Like, how unbelievable would that be? You know what I mean? Like everything that tastes really good, chances are it's not that good for you. And the stuff horrible, it's good for you.
I
Kale,
know.
kale. I don't even know what kale is, but I think it's like a leaf, you know. But people eat that kind of stuff, and they learn to like. Nobody likes kale. I'm sure people don't go, "Oh, kale is the greatest thing ever." They don't like it. They know it's good for them, and they learn to tolerate it, and that can be disguised as liking it. But
That's true.
nobody on the face of the earth is going to tell me they'd rather have kale than Sunday. That's just stupid. You know what I mean? Like, there's nobody that believes that. And so, you know, be real. Hot fudge Sunday is the best thing on earth, basically. So that's I like pizza. If you get a good pizza, I mean, there's not much better on earth than pizza. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my God. I
Yeah,
love that. It's like my
of
favorite food. Like
course.
I could eat that every day if it wasn't
Yeah,
so
of course,
greasy.
of course. Yeah, for sure. Mm.
Definitely. And I'm a big horror guy, as you could tell with Chucky over there. Like, and I like asking my guests this: are there any horror films that you like watching?
I dated the girl, the lead girl from one of the two lead girls from Halloween 5. A little bit. You gotta
Really?
watch Halloween 5. Her character's name is Samantha. The
Yes, yes.
blonde hair, beautiful. Like she looked like a California beach blonde girl I would blonde hair. And I had seen Hollywood Halloween 5 with my friend and my girlfriend at the time, who was kind of a devil. And watching the movie, and the movie comes on, and she comes on the screen, and I say to my friend, I whisper to him, I say, "That's the kind of girl I need to get. Like, I need to have a girl like that." So that was 1989. 2 years later, I'm having a fight, and my manager tells me I'm going to bring in this actress. I know her mother, and we're
Mhm.
gonna kind of hype it up like Beauty and the Beast, like you guys are dating, even though you don't know each other. I said, "Oh, that's cool. What's she been in?" And he told me a bunch of stuff, and he said Halloween 5, and I didn't put it together. And as I'm watching the movie to see what she looks like, right before her scene started, it dawned on me. I said, "It's her. It's that girl I was talking about." And I ended up meeting her, and we ended up hitting it off. And she lives in down south, so she lives far away from me. But
Mhm.
we had a relationship, you could say, and we were planning on taking it further, but my boxing career basically got in the way, But if it wasn't for boxing, her and I could have advanced our relationship together. And I'm actually still in a bit of contact with her. I actually saw her in Chicago a couple years ago. Archie Better Buy fought in Chicago, and I was there during Halloween
Oh.
time. And I see on the internet that she was there doing Comic Con,
Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
yeah, doing that for Halloween. So I sent her a message. I go, "Hey, are you in Chicago?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm in Chicago," and we were like a half mile away from each other. So we ended up meeting up, and her and some of her friends from the movies and whatever. And we went out and had something to eat, and so I keep in touch with her. But yeah, that was back in 1991 when I,
Wow.
when I met her. Yeah,
I
yep.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Like I'm a huge horror fan, and I've seen every single
Made it to
Halloween film.
top 5. If people don't know who she is, she's the one who was dressed as the devil, and they were in the barn, and
Yeah.
Mike Myers got her with a pitchfork, and he put her on
Yes.
the wall. She tried to get him with a something, and I think she tried to kill him with a pitchfork, and he took it from her or whatever, and he pitchforked her. So yeah, I know her. Yeah,
Wow, that's so awesome.
yeah.
Nice. And like, are you more of a like beach kind of guy, or like a, a outdoors hiking camping kind of
Uh,
person?
I don't do either of those things very often, but I would like I the beach. is about an hour away from where I live. So I'd have to drive an hour to get to the beach. And I don't always have time for that. My wife really likes the beach. So if we go somewhere like we're actually going to a place called Block Island on Saturday, which is an island off of Rhode Island and Connecticut. It's
Oh,
it's a big tourist destination. It's kind of like a smaller Martha's Vineyard in Massachusetts.
okay, yeah.
So we're going there, because it's surrounded by water. You have to take a ferry boat to get there. So yeah, I like that kind of scene. Yeah, for sure.
Nice, nice. And is there anything coming up next for you that you want to plug, like any shows that you're doing, or?
Well, I'm doing a get together, like a boxing get together for anybody, boxers, trainers, managers, fans, media, whoever, at Muhammad Ali's old training camp in Pennsylvania. It's called Deer Lake Fighters Heaven. It's where he trained for George Foreman and all those fights. And the camp is still there. Mike
Oh,
Madden, John Madden's son, he owns it, and he refurbished it and everything. So we're going up there Saturday, September 16th. We're having a cookout, and then at night we're gonna have a bonfire. So if anybody's in Pennsylvania area and they want to come, they're more than welcome. It's free to attend. Just come and hang out. Yeah.
nice, nice. And one of my friends told me he was like I think he asked you to do a film or something, Joey and Ambrosini.
Yeah, we just did it the other day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we just
yeah.
I'm a gangster in the movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So have you done films before that? Like, was this like your
I
first one?
I did one other one, but I didn't have a speaking role. This one I had speaking role. The other one I was just there, in the scenes, but I didn't speak. And I was actually in a couple three rap videos where I
Nice.
had to act a little bit. I don't know if you're familiar with R.A. the Rugged Man, but he's a big rapper. He's a very
Yeah.
famous underground rapper, and I was in two of his videos, which was pretty cool. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Nice. And last question is like, is where can fans follow you at? Like, what are your socials
I'm
and
I'm
pages?
on Twitter and Instagram. I'm pretty sure it's Iceman John Scully on those, and I'm sure I'm easy to find if you know. And the other one on Facebook, I have two pages, and one of them is John the Iceman, and the Iceman is one word, John the Iceman Scully, and then the other one is Iceman John Scully. Those are my two pages. So yeah, I have and I have a lot of, they have a thing where you're limited to 5,000 friends.
Yeah.
So I have 5,000 on both pages, but you can follow me. It's a follow button, which is literally
Ah,
the same thing as being your friend. I don't know why they don't just let everybody have more than 5,000 friends, but like I have like 4,000 followers. You know what I mean?
okay.
So you can follow me on those if you can't friend request me. Either way, you can. I think they're open. I think I kept the page open so even people who aren't my friends can see all the talk. And I have a lot of fighters on there, famous world champions that are commenting every day regularly. And I have a couple actors and
Nice.
rappers. So it's pretty cool page.
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely gonna follow you.
Sir, thank you. Mm.
Well, it was really awesome meeting you. Like, thank you so much for taking time out. I know you're
Anytime.
training someone, so
Yes,
def
sir.
thank you for taking time out of that and doing this.
I appreciate it. It's an honor. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Definitely, buddy. Well, we'll have a great night and have fun with your training session.
All right, my man. Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you next time.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Okay.